Before humanity built cities, before kings ruled nations, a war broke out before history, not on earth, but in heaven. And according to the Book of Enoch, what followed changed the fate of angels, humans, and the world forever. This is not mythology. This is the forbidden account of the fallen angels. Before the rebellion, heaven was not chaos. It was structure, ranks, authority. At the center of this order stood a being of immense power, Lucifer, anointed, radiant, a high-ranking guardian of divine knowledge. Enoch describes angels not as winged myths, but as administrators of creation, each assigned domains, laws, and boundaries. And Lucifer stood above many. But authority gave birth to ambition, and ambition, when unchecked, becomes rebellion. Lucifer did not fall alone. He questioned order. He challenged hierarchy. He convinced others that heaven could be ruled differently. This was not an emotional uprising. It was ideological. A faction formed. Lines were drawn. And then, war. Not with swords of steel, but with forces beyond human language. The Book of Enoch tells us this conflict ended quickly. Lucifer and his followers were defeated, cast down, stripped of position. But the rebellion did not end there. After the first fall, another group crossed a line that could not be undone. They were called the Watchers, angels assigned to observe humanity, not to interfere. But they did more than watch. They descended to earth. They desired human women, and they took them as wives. This was not temptation, it was violation of divine law, and from that union something unnatural was born. The children of angels and humans were called Nephilim, giants. Enoch describes them as beings of immense size and appetite. They devoured crops, animals, and eventually, humans. Violence filled the earth. Knowledge meant for heaven was taught to mankind. Weapons, sorcery, forbidden sciences. Creation was unraveling. And heaven responded. God did not negotiate. The Watchers were condemned, not destroyed, but imprisoned, bound beneath the earth in darkness, awaiting final judgment. The giants were wiped out, their bodies destroyed. But Enoch reveals something chilling. Their spirits did not die. They became wandering entities, tormenting humanity, what later generations would call demons. Enoch was taken, not by death, but by invitation. He was shown heavenly prisons, judgment chambers, and futures not meant for mankind. He witnessed the fate of angels and the limits of mercy. Some things he was commanded to write, others forbidden forever. And then he was returned. The rebellion was crushed, the Watchers bound, the giants erased. But the consequences remained. Humanity now lived in a world shaped by angelic rebellion, temptation, violence, spiritual warfare. The Book of Enoch was eventually removed, hidden, declared dangerous. Not because it was false, but because it revealed too much. This was the war before history, the fall before mankind's fall, the story beneath the stories. And if this ancient account is true, then Earth has never been neutral ground. Comment what you thought happened in heaven. Subscribe and follow for more.